Oh, hey, it's me, Chris. How's it going? It's another Friday, another live stream where I am drawing names. It wasn't the plan to always draw names on live streams, but that's what we're doing right now. And to be honest with you, it's probably going to stay that way for the time being. But it's a fun, interactive activity that I like to do. So before we get into that, just a couple quick announcements. I've been talking loosely about how I've been planning to transition the YouTube membership situation mostly to Patreon. I'll still have like a base level YouTube membership for the specific YouTube perks, but all of like the bigger categories will be on Patreon because I can do so much more with all of you. I can interact much easier. YouTube memberships makes it super difficult. The only way I can really communicate is like through community posts, and those get lost. So anyway, we're going to switch to Patreon. It's going to be so much better. It's not going to be like a hard cutoff date. I'm going to slowly transition. But if you are a super supporter and above, which let me just shout out these absolute heroes, super supporters and above get their name drawn and included in all the videos that I make while they are active members, soon to be patrons. Hopefully all of you will transition over. I was going to put the link in the description before the live stream, but I didn't do that. And now, hold on. Sorry, I was trying to turn off the graphic, but it wasn't happening. Anyway, I didn't do that. So I'm wondering if it's going to be in the chat. And I think Matt is the amazing support system for me over here. I think he's going to put it in the description too. So we're going to be okay. You're going to find that link. But let me just talk about it real quick because we got some updated names. You know, I don't remember exactly who it was, but one of you came up with the term Piascik, which is hilarious, and I love it so much. So we're using this for the tiers, and you know, I had to make them all sort of work in that tier. So these are the official tiers. The base level tier, which is called Down with the Piaschikness. The most ridiculous thing that I think I've ever come up with is the base level tier. And then there's the Piaschikos. This is the tier that is equivalent to the Super Supporter one, where you get your name drawn and included. And then we've got, up from that, we've got the Pias Sticker Club. The name is a little bit misleading. There's going to be a new sticker sent to you every month, but the main perk, well, not the main perk, but one of the things that makes this one different is it includes a monthly hangout with all of the PS Sticker Clubs and myself. And then there's the highest tier, the Piaschikest, and this is the one where you get like individual one-on-one monthly chats. If you are a current YouTube BFF level tier, just reach out to me. It's going to be a little bit different for you because you get grandfathered in to the system because it's a little bit different because YouTube takes a massive cut from the memberships and Patreon doesn't. So, you know, it's a little different. So anyway, that's the patron stuff. There's so many of you in the chat. That is amazing to see. Let's see. We got Scotty said you just wanted to say thank you for doing these. You're an inspiration. Your work is thank you so much. That is so nice to hear. We got channel moderators Skippy McHaggett's in the house. They see Diana Lisa Robinson. Lots of members. This is amazing. So glad to see you all. I'm excited to draw some names. As always, I try to do these as fair as possible, so I do first come, first serve from when the live stream starts. There is the opportunity to jump the line by doing a super chat of $20 and above. But otherwise, I'm going to do first come, first serve. And it looks like the first name on that list is Maxwell Andres. So that's cool. I'm told that the Patreon link is in the description and the chat, so you can check that out. You don't have to do it now. Studio Squid Ink, I'm glad that you're enjoying the Piascikness. Okay, Tess, you said you were so happy to be here today, and S. Erickson said thank you for the motivation to change your drawing style and progress. That is awesome. I'm so glad that I could help in that regard. Okay, let me switch over to my iPad screen and just shout out the newest super sporters. I should start saying Piascikos. Even though it's YouTube membership. Hopefully these heroes will switch over to Patreon for me, because I will be eventually soon removing any tier beyond that base level membership tier. So there's that. Anyway, shout out to Ed Sandwich, Ginger Bear House Studio, and Sam E. Thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you all. Thank you very much. So let me turn those off, get a new layer going. Sylvie, good morning to you as well, and so glad that you are down with the Piascikness. All right, let me put on some jams. Dwayne wants to know, what brushes are you using to start? That reminds me that I forgot to. Let me real quick. If you don't know, I have. What did I do with it? What did I do with it? I have brush pack, mega pack from with Retro Spyco that has brushes, tutorials, textures, color palettes, color guides. It's got tons of stuff, and it is available for both Procreate and Fresco / Photoshop, because Fresco uses Photoshop brushes and all that. So those are linked below if you want to check them out. But that's what I use for everything that I do. But when I'm doing these, I tend to start with the sketchy in the drawing set. And it's just a good pencil brush, because I need to sketch with pencil style to start, and then I usually transition over to the classic inker, which is like a little bit of a slightly gritty, it emulates like a flare pen or a sign pen that I used to use before I worked digitally. Hope that helps. Okay, so the first name, we'll just write it down here as always, is Maxwell Silverhammer. No, I'm just kidding. That was a Beatles joke. And Andres? I don't know. Okay. So, where do we start? I don't know. When I see an X, I always just want to kind of start with it, just because it's such a kind of fun letter. But I don't know. I'm just sort of playing right now, trying to see if there's anything interesting that we can find with this. This is looking like a Fast and Furious title. I don't know if we want to go with a giant X, but it's a little bit hard not to. Maybe we can make it a little less X Games and make it more fun and playful. I think if it wasn't as wide, it wouldn't be so dramatic. Let's see. Let's grab this, move it over. Tess, you said this is the best channel on YouTube. I love your vibe. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. so thankful for all the support. We are getting very close to 100,000 subscribers, which is blowing my mind because when I started this channel, I was like, I hope I can get to 10,000. And that was like 2 years ago. So we 10 times that, 10 times it. 10 times? 10 times it. 10 times. Wow. Okay. Usually I don't lose my mind that fast. Okay, what are we gonna do down here? Don't have a real plan, as I mentioned. Oh, maybe if we put this at an angle. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta get it down and then you can fix it. So, I'm just gonna merge these together, lower the opacity, and then try to make it better. It's the whole thing. Everything, my whole process is about just trying to make it a little bit better each time, and then you can get somewhere, if all goes well. I'm just trying to be more intentional with how I'm drawing these shapes and how they fit together. And see if that gets us somewhere interesting. I'm gonna come down here to the last name because it looked like we're starting to run out of space, so I want to just make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm going to do that, and then that will help me determine how big to make the letters. And the first name, not that they have to line up perfectly, but I just want it to be balanced. Which actually maybe we should make the L in Maxwell a little bit bigger. Whoops. So that it's like evenly spaced on each side. Okay, I think this is kind of fun. I think we can make it a little bit better, but I think that's a good place to work from. Let's just double check the spelling, because you know that I can mess that up. So, let's see. How do we make this better? Let's play around with the interaction between these, like the top row and the bottom row. Like maybe we make this line all connected and then like erase parts of it out. Could be fun. Maybe we go crazy with this leg on the R. We are missing the W. See? And I even checked the spelling while I was doing it. What a dum-dum. I'm the worst person in the universe. I'm sorry, Maxwell. I even said like the L at one point, like I was not an idiot. I need to switch back to the pencil because we're back to sketch mode, because I am not ready for this brush. Well, you know what? We already started. We're gonna sketch on that brush. I don't know why it's different for me. Let's see. Maybe we'll push the playfulness even further using like a lowercase s here. That's kind of cool. S. Erickson, you said you got me motivated to do a drawing daily. So much fun. That's awesome. Anna Kate said you will get yourself a nice play button. Yeah, when you hit 100,000, you get the silver play button, which, you know, it's kind of cool. I know this looks like a mess, but we're figuring stuff out here, and we're going to get somewhere. Thought maybe we would throw in a different A there. All right, it's getting a little bit more fun. See, we're just slowly making it better. But I think we gotta speed it up now and just get it done. Okay, so I liked what we're gonna do here to start, and then I'm gonna go in and erase the overlap, or the space in between the letters, but just having them drawn together will make it more cohesive. B19 Big, I think it's Big Mike. Longtime fan, first time watcher. Thanks so much. So happy to have you here. Patrick Putman. Hey Chris, I've been tracing images that are not mine in an attempt to train my muscle memory and clean up line work. What are your thoughts on tracing images like that? I think if it's an exercise just to sort of help you and get that kind of muscle memory, and that just, I think it's also can be good for just like analyzing and like studying the way things are drawn, and I think that can be really helpful. I recommend that all the time for lettering, like tracing existing letter forms, whether it's like from a font or a logo, just to get a better understanding of like how letters are drawn. And sometimes you can't, when you're just looking at it, it's different than when you're actually making the lines and like seeing and feeling how they kind of flow and work together. So yeah, go for it. I think it's only weird if you like post it online and be like, look at this thing that I made, but you wouldn't be doing that. You're just using it for practice. Let me fix the music a little bit. I tried to switch up the background music a little bit, and I'm told that this is a little loud. Hopefully I fixed it. I don't know if it's just this song. I should have taken the time to like level the tracks. But it was one of those things where sometimes I start the live stream at 10 and sometimes I start it at 10:30. And when I start it later, I'm like, oh, I'll have time to do a little bit of work before I go live. But instead, I just make up things to do. And I'm like, oh, I should change up the background music and like put it all, do that. So I just, the ADHD just makes me not use my time wisely. Hopefully, the background music is a little bit better. Now, let me know, because I can turn it down if it needs to be. Diana Lisa, you said I need to pre-pick a spot to put the silver play button. Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna go. I might just wear it as a necklace. Do we think that's a good idea? Neming said you were just super focused this morning. I don't know. I feel a little bit all over the place, but we'll see. I feel like I'm going slow on this one, but I guess the first ones are usually slower because I'm trying to warm up and get in the zone. Is it impossible for anyone else to hear the phrase "get in the zone" and not immediately go AutoZone? Because that is what happens to me. Can I get a confirmation that the audio, the background music is less obnoxious now? Music is still loud. Reduce 10 to 20%. That is some math that I don't have. What do you think about that? Bang Bang Maxwell Silver Hammer. Oh, speaking of Bang Bang Maxwell Silver Hammer can smash my like button. Smash my likes. Give me a thumb. If you're watching this and you're not smashing my thumbs, what the heck are you even doing here? Ah! We forgot to finish the bottom of the R. Not the R. What am I talking about? Who said I was focused? Lost my mind right off the bat. All right, let's delete this other stuff. Let's delete this. Let's come in here, erase this connection. We gotta be on the right layer first. Just a mild cleanup here. Yeah, I think we did it. I like it. I think it's fun. It's a little cold in my office. I'm getting a little bit of a runny nose. I hope you like it too, Maxwell. This sounds good. Matt said I have noise math. Ah! I dropped my elbow pad. All right. Anna Kate, you are next. I feel like my mic is so close to getting whacked by the pencil. A-N-N-A, Kate. All right, there's no way I can mess up the spelling on this. Okay. Boombastic, you said it is not about the destination. It's the journey. It's true. Robert Holden, good morning. You love Fridays. Get to my early birds meeting at 6:30 to get your head straight on, and then I get to watch Chris draw and get inspired. That is amazing. Thank you so much. I don't know. I'm just zooming in and out for no reason. What are we gonna do with Anna Kate? I don't know why I'm thinking script. I think because it's like just a lot of repetition in those letters, which is kind of fun. Maybe maybe we can do something fun with like some connecting letter forms. I don't know. We're experimenting right now. You gotta trust the process. Can't decide if I like that connection. I think it might be a little, I don't know. Do we go crazy? There's too many ways for these to just... We're just connecting everywhere. Let's see. think it's worth doing. I wasn't completely sure about that forward loop or the A and the K connect, but I think if we give it some more space, I think it can work because it sort of repeats that motion of the second arm of the K. So I think if we just make it a little bit wider. We're making it worse. How do we do that? I think because we made it big. Like we didn't need to, that. We weren't ready for it to be that big. That's the problem. Anna Kate, you said this stream is your end of the week Friday afternoon chill vibe. Maxwell, you said, have you found the barrel feature to be useful? No. But also, I think it's probably better for people who are like painters or like people who work like painterly. But I'm not. Like I'm very simple with what I like. I like a pretty consistent line, a little bit of mild pressure sensitivity. Basically just like a felt tip pen or like a sign pen or like a brand new Sharpie is like my ideal feel. So things like barrel roll is like a more of a paintbrush type situation. So it's not something that resonates with the way that I work. I love just like finding the ways to sort of connect letters and make things work with script. It's very satisfying. One thing that I find tricky is like when I'm doing it like this and then I try to like tighten it up, I have to be careful to not go too tight because then sometimes it loses the energy. All right, let's tighten this up. So one thing that I want to fix is I think I want the T to get crossed slightly lower. So I'm going to do that first. This is a weird song. I don't remember what this is or picking it. It's got like boxing ring sounds. Bells or something? I don't know. Gnostic Yoda, any thoughts for the new Fresco update? Well, so I posted in my community tab in the new beta version that just came out to like test before it goes public. They finally added a feature that I've been asking for forever, which is a simple one, but it's just when you're doing animation, the onion skin frames are colored so that it's a lot easier to tell what your like current frame versus the previous and the next frame. So they're like set to default like green and reddish pink or something like that. So like if you're doing something, it's really helpful if you were like animating something that's like the same color, which is almost always the case. It's hard to tell what the previous and next was because they were like both lower opacity and then your frame, and it's like, wait, which is where I was and which is where I'm going. But now you can be like, okay, the green one is where it was and this is where I'm going. So it's so much easier. So yeah, I'm excited about that. All right, I like this the way this is going. I think I want to make it like white out of a black shape. So you guys know I like to do this a lot. Just feel like it makes it like a fun little shape patch thing. Okay, and now we will load that as a selection. And we can come up here and just erase that. And look at that. That's fun. I like that. I hope you like it too, Anna Kate. All right, this is interesting. We're actually getting to do the names from the beginning. Oftentimes people come in hot with the super chats and cut the line. I have the my window with my notes really stretched out, and it's obscuring. It like went down too low. Okay, probably because I'm not keeping up with the questions. Gnostic Yoda is next. Okay. Skipping McHaggis. AutoZone immediately after in the zone anytime. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone there. Boombastic, you said instructions unclear. Background music set to AutoZone. Theme song. Yes. Does your elbow pain ever affect your shoulder? Absolutely. I switch between elbow pain and shoulder pain on a regular basis. My current pain is pretty interesting. It is now very painful on my non-drawing arm. I'm actually wearing like a strap thing to take some pressure off of it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just like long-term repetitive motion, and I think it's from in the evenings I draw on the couch, and I think I like hold my hand on the back of the iPad, on the back of like my Sketchboard Pro, and I think that I can feel it, just this twist, like that, this area, I think just from doing it for so many hours every single day. I think no matter what, when you do something like that repetitive, it causes problems. So I've been making it a point to just like rest it on, I just like use a ottoman and have my knees up so I can rest the Sketchboard Pro against my knees, and that's hopefully gonna solve that problem until something else happens. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just sort of playing around. I just feel like this name could be sort of like wiggly, trippy fun letters like this. Oh, maybe we can do like a lowercase g that could like kind of curve into the Y in Yoda. Yeah, I like that. We could figure out a way to fit these together a little better. All right, let's figure out what we're doing. First, let's address the problem areas. You know what? Let's get wild here. Watch this. Ready? Whoop, 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 whoop. We are getting wild. Everything is just one long crazy shape. Okay, so problem area is that N and O. It's funny that it's no because it is a no right now. That's no for me, dog. Did I do that joke right? I think we are making our life difficult by using such a large brush size. Sometimes I find it easier to do simpler like broad stroke planning in a bigger brush size because I don't get too caught up in the details. Okay, this might be a little too small, but I think that end tucking under is not gonna work. I'm sorry, I'm being quiet right now. I'm trying to figure this solution. I'm trying to solve this mystery. The mystery of how this is going to look. All right, I think we're getting close. Eclectic case. Drawing lettering for a business banner using lots of tips from Chris, as in me, I believe. I don't want to be presumptuous. Is that the right word? Boombastic, you said you need to get back into drawing. It was life back in high school. Hey, I feel that. That's actually how I started my daily drawing project that I did for like 14 years. I went to drawing was like all I did my whole life, and then like I went to art school for graphic design, became a graphic designer, and then realized I was only drawing for like sketches for projects, and I was like, this is bad. I'm gonna not be able to draw anymore. So I can't just like be like, oh, I'm gonna draw more. I have to trick myself into making anything happen. So I started a daily drawing project, and it changed everything, and I became an illustrator accidentally. Okay. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Sometimes when I go to switch back to the brush, I like accidentally hit the back button to close out of the thing. Vidard, you said happy weekend, Chris. You finally had time to watch live stream again. I hope you had a great New Year. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good New Year too. Okay, let's start with the problem areas. The first one is this N is a little too thin. So I think I want to make these letters kind of more wiggly. Anyway, so I can kind of go like this. When I hear this song, I think of that, like the starting soon music, and I'm waiting for the crash boom sound when my little name logo thing drops down. Scotty, you said, did you feel a lot of pressure when you were first started working with bigger companies like Nike and Adidas? What was your process like for you? Yeah, well, so definitely Nike. I actually didn't work with Adidas until a few years ago. So I was like much further into my career, so I felt more confident. But yeah, Nike was it was probably my first bigger client as like on my own. Like I had worked with big clients at the design studio I worked for, but it was like, the studio. It wasn't just me. Nike was my first like independent big client. And yeah, I was a little bit worried and just kind of stressed about it. I still sort of stress about it when it's like a client that I'm really excited about or something and I want to do like a really good job. I'll put like a lot of pressure on myself and that just makes it harder, and I'll feel like I can't do anything. I'm not good enough to do this. I'm the worst person alive. And it ends up just me doing lots of sketching and starting over and hating everything, and then eventually being like, oh, okay, this is going to be fine. So yeah, it's definitely gotten a little bit better over time, but it is still a struggle sometimes. I think I don't want it filled in, but I think it needs something to make it pop a little bit. So I think I'm going to do an outline around it so I can fill it in so that the negative space in between the letters is solid, and that'll make it easier to read and also make it feel a little bit more finished, I think. Just want to do a couple little bits of extra separation in some of these. That's a little bit weird. Let's see. I don't know why, I just feel like a little drip makes sense for this. There. I like it. I hope you like it too. Next up on the list is Rob Russell. ROBRUSSELL. 2 S's, 2 L's. Okay, let's figure this out. R's are some of my favorite letters to draw because I like to kind of do, something like this. It's really fun. I wonder if what we could do, like if there should be 2 of them. I mean, a second one would kind of fit nicely right here, like this. the repetition could look cool. And double S's are a little tricky. Well, kind of like that way that might line up together. Let's see if we can make this a little better. So I'm thinking maybe if we make this one longer, like that, and then like this. Just trying to find like a connection between, not like a physical connection, but just like aligning the letters from the different lines will make it feel like a more cohesive design. So like if we get these L's kind of stacked like this, and then we just have that same line. I'm getting somewhere. A couple little issues that need to be addressed, but nothing that I think we won't be able to solve. With a little bit of perseverance and perspiration. No, it's cold in my office. I'm not going to be perspirating. Okay. Let's figure this out. I think what is happening here is the E is a little jammed, but also this L feels super long. So what we can do is fix both of those problems. And then now that E is not going to look so jammed in there. Okay, let's merge this down. Let's make it bigger. Let's make sure the two S's, the two L's. Okay, let's lower the opacity. Anna Kate, you said, I'm trying to play it cool, but my day has utterly been made. You've been trying to catch the start of a stream for months. I'm so glad that you made it and that you are happy with your name drawing. I think I'm going to do this one with vector so that I can use the trimming to get some of these connections to be nice and tight. I'm going to use my vector presets. I think I'm going to do this with the crispy one because I usually do gritty, and I feel like this one deserves some crispiness. Okay, so let's get this line here like that. So the reason I want to do this is because with the vector is because with the vector trimming I can draw these like long continuous shapes and then easily just trim them so it's all perfect, which if that doesn't make sense, it will in a minute when you see what I'm going to do. Because I can just draw all of this continuous, which is just going to make it flow really nicely. Because I can draw it all with the same line, so it'll feel inherently more cohesive because it's drawn with the literal same line. Like, I'll do that line all at once, and then Nasakyoda said, "Perfect, it looks." Did I do a good Yoda there? I didn't know how that was going to go. Hello, sir. I love your work. Keep rocking. Oh, I forgot to say your name. Nemanja. Thank you so much. Anna Kate said, one day I shall get an iPad for my drawing, but until then, what app do you recommend? Well, I mean, this is not going to be the best suggestion in terms of it being easy. Like, before I did all my drawing on an iPad, I used, I used Photoshop. So, I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with other drawing apps. I did actually play around with Manga Studio at one point, and I can't remember why. I think someone I knew liked it, so I tried it, and it was pretty good. Also, I remember like Corel being pretty good as well, if you don't want to use Photoshop. Photoshop is, still kind of like what I would go to if I'm at my computer. And also as like a professional illustrator, like someone who does this for a living, it's like what if I have to give files, it's often Photoshop files, which I know you can export Photoshop files from nearly anything, but when you're like working on a project and there's revisions and stuff like that, it's much easier to not have to be switching back and forth. You can just like edit the file and not like import it into something else and then re-export it, and then you get all kinds of files and it gets confusing. Oh, you know what? Clip Studio Pro is supposed to be pretty good. I tried it when I was testing out a Magic Drawing Pad, and it was a struggle for me, but it's just like, I think everything is, because you're not used to it. Like, there's just that learning curve. But I know it's a good app. Like, people like it. I should probably trim this so it doesn't look so chaotic right now, but sometimes it's easier for me to just get it all drawn. But I think this is a good point, because sometimes I notice things after I trim it all that I'm like, oh, that's not working. I should stop. Okay, so to trim, we're just gonna double tap the modifier and then put the blue on the outside, and now we can just draw through what we don't need. Like magic, so satisfying. Love it so much. Look at that, boom. Except we didn't want to draw through that top line. But now they're separate letters, but it's so cohesive because they were built from that same line. Oops. Went a little too wild there. not too worried about these like bumpy areas because I'm going to fill these in black, I think. Or solid. All right, let's fill it in and see what we get. I should have done some sort of trim thing there. I think this looks pretty good. I just want to do like a sort of like a 3D effect, but like an outline too. At least is my idea. Skippy, you said this song makes it seem like Chris should do some art crimes. Yeah, I feel that. I feel like I want to just crime some arts. Just going hard, drawing some names. Look at this fun little name I drew with this straight up gangster rap just playing in the background. I'm going hard in the vectors here. I don't play with my vectors. All right, Rob Russell. It's huge right now. Let's make it a little bit smaller so we can actually look at it. I think it looks pretty cool. I hope you like it too. I'm making layers on top. Let's do another one. This is the first like authentic just going from the start to the beginning that we've had in a long time. I feel like the last few times they were like super chat crazy, people cutting the line. Next up is Scotty. I feel like I'm making it sound negative about the super chats. Obviously, I like when people give me money. Who doesn't? But it's also cool to do just some early people in the chat. 710 Society. Hey Chris, do you have any experience with Clip Studio Paint? Is Clip Studio Pro Clip Studio Paint? If so, I played around with it when I was testing out a Magic Drawing Pad, which is an Android device, because it was like I couldn't use the other things I was used to. So I hear it's a great app. I struggled with it because I, don't have any experience with it, and I was trying to just like do it on the fly, thinking I could figure it out. So it wasn't great for me, but I know that it's like a very capable and powerful app. I think it's a lot. There's a lot of features. Sometimes these things just come together. Like, they don't need to be complicated. For some reason, this just feels nice. Let's just refine it a little bit. Let's not overthink it. I think it's looking good. I'll start with this and just draw it as one connection. As cool as the vector trimming is, it is always nice to go back to a pixel-based brush and just feel like I'm drawing with a nice inky pen. Nick laughed at going hard in the vectors. Sounds like a t-shirt I need. Yeah, that might be funny. I think we might need to move the S back a little bit. I'm gonna draw it separate just in case. Scotty, you said it made my day. Thank you. Seven to Society. Yeah, trying to teach myself how to use a pen display and CSP app right now, and it's a huge shift from mouse clicks and all my Adobe experience. Yeah, I think if you spend the time and like get used to the interface, it will be helpful. I think actually, if you find that video where I review the Magic Drawing Pad and just look at the comments, there's a lot of Clip Studio Pro fans in there that yell at me and be like, you just didn't do this and this and this, and they like tell me why I'm an idiot, and it might give you some tips on how to use it properly. I like the simplicity of this. Came together pretty easy. I do think I want to maybe just try, not like a full outline, but I'm wondering if it just had some like simple little accents maybe. I don't know. I don't like that. Let's see. I think it might need something. I just don't know what. Actually, I think this might be pretty cool. Just this little inset line. Yeah, I like that. I just think I just want to adjust the border a little bit now. Like I think it gets a little too thin a couple of spots with this inset. Let's merge this all down. Let's merge that down. And now let's just move this over just a teeny itty bitty. Yeah, I like it. I hope you like it too. Sorry, I thought I was done, but then I realized I needed a little finesse over here in the S zone. Yep, okay, we did it. Marcus Rice, you said, hey Chris. You made it, sorry. Matt puts the questions in a thing so I can look at them, which is super helpful, but he was fixing something as it was pasted and I couldn't read it and it looked like a dummy on screen. You said you made a teak frame for my Royal Tenenbaums print and painted it with a lovely basil milk paint that matches the green. That's rad, and you said it's up on Discord. I will have to check that out. You guys can check it out on the Discord too. Did you know we have a Discord? We have a Discord. There's a link in the description. Steven, you are next. We got two single names that start with an S. What are we going to do? Let's play with let's do block letter. Block letter's fun. I'm gonna start with a shape. I'm just gonna do what's the word? Parallelogram? Oh. Matt just posted the image of the framed print for me, and it is crazy how perfectly the frame matches the green in the lettering. Nice job. That's super cool. Is there a cowbell in this song? I think I'm committing to this shape. Just a little bit longer. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is on a new layer, I am just going to quickly write out the letters. And this way I can realize that I didn't space it properly. So I can shrink it down a little bit like this. And now we can bring down the opacity there, and I'm just going to divide this up into sections for each letter. Okay, now we're going to try to carve these letters out in a fun way. Maybe we'll do like something like that for the T. Actually, no, I like this having the top half of the letters be really tall, so maybe we'll stick with that. It's kind of a cool V. The V's are tricky because you want that like, you don't want it to look like a U, but you also don't want to carve a ton into it. So how could we do that in a way? Maybe it's like a notch at the top and then like a notch in the bottom. It still looks a little U-ish. Maybe it's like a... Why am I being a dummy about this right now? I think I wasn't ready for these block letters. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think I was prepared for this. We're gonna come back once we start with something. I need to turn off, there's too much, I'm looking at too much. I think that's the problem. Okay. That makes me feel a little better for some reason. Sometimes you just need to start with something like this and then you can revise it. There's something I like about it, but there's something that I don't like about it. Sometimes I'll do this and then use this as like a starting point to like make it better. So I think that's what we'll do here. So I'm just gonna merge this all down so I can make it lower opacity. And now I'm gonna use this to inspire something different, but the same, based on this. You know what I'm saying? Piascik said, "You have a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell." I should have read that as the cowbell was in the song. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is kind of exaggerate this V shape. No, that's too much. I like the idea of these connecting somehow. Oh, maybe that's it. I think it maybe just needed to be thinned out a little bit. We are hitting all the vibes on this playlist. Guys, not loving it. I'm not loving it. Sometimes you struggle and you got to work through it, and we are in struggle mode. I've been broken by 2 simple names. But I'm not ready to fully abandon what I've done with the block thing. All right, we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. I'm crawling out of the hole. Skipping a haggis, he said it needs more, is also immediately in my head if I hear the yes. Okay. Look at, things are getting chaotic when I have all these different layers because I'm like struggling. Okay, I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller. Let's just come in here and figure this out. Let's start with this. Kind of liked that connection. Sorry, I'm in quiet mode right now. I'm really trying to find. It's always the simplest names that take me down. What do we need to do here to make this work? Sometimes what you need to do is make like a squiggly line to give it some energy. So like maybe like this. And then we can like adapt it to what's happening and it might just kind of bring it all to life. That's my plan. Going straight to a more confident brush. Except that line weight is too thick. You give me like a long, complicated name, just hammer it out. You give me a simple name like this, and I'm going to Struggle Town. This brush is too big as well. What is happening? Okay. The crazy thing about doing live drawing that's like where you're figuring out as you go is like when you have those periods that everyone has where like nothing is working and you're like, this is the worst. I have no idea how to draw. I've never drawn in my life. I get to do that with an audience. And also not only an audience, but like I'm doing these drawings for viewers. So there's like a tinge of guilt where I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing a good enough drawing for you for, I don't know. I think we're going to get there though. I think those squiggly lines are just going to be what we needed. I'm going to fill these in and make the brush a skosh smaller. Check in with the chat for a second. Electric Case said, the way you get these done so fast is both inspiring and daunting. Well, that's nice to hear when I'm going through a situation like this where I'm like struggling and feeling like I'm taking forever to make it not look like trash. But thank you for that pep talk, that unintentional pep talk. Like, part of me wants to go straight to the S because the S is like that first letter, but the T is a more complicated thing because it has to fit into this space. So, I don't know. I think they need to be drawn together. Okay, so now let's merge this down and like get rid of all of this other trash so we can assess and see if we need to do anything else. I guess I don't need to clean up everything. Okay, so now that those lines aren't there, some of this looks a little forced, so we can kind of clean that up a little bit so it doesn't need to be so trapped. Maybe like sharpening some of these angles will give it the extra bit it needs for me to be happy. Oops. When in doubt, put it in a little house. Those are my, that's my pro tip. And that introduced a whole other issue. Now this when you like invert something, this line weight ends up looking too thick, so you need to add in a little bit of extra. I have one more idea to really pop this a little bit better. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's just merge this down. Let's delete that. I'm just going to grab the magic wand and select black, and I'm going to come over to my brushes and grab one of the texture brushes from my Retro Supply Co set, and let's just use this one. Make it a little bigger. And then I think that's too much. Let's get us a less distressed one. Just so it's not only in the and then that's all good. What I like to do is just use it as an eraser just to break up that edge a little bit in some spots to make it look a little bit more worn in. Maybe the this one a little bit smaller as an eraser. Just to soften up that edge so it looks like more naturally worn. And then one more thing that sometimes works well here is if we just grab the black one once more and then just use like a lighter texture, like I haven't used these since I reinstalled Fresco, so it's they had to load for a second. Okay, so just like that, and then what you do is you take this other one and you just kind of like offset it a little bit, and it gives that like misprint look. I think it's pretty neato. Cool. Hope you like that, Steven. What time is it? What? I'm torn. I kind of want to do another one, but it is late. I don't think I can do it. Let me answer a few more questions. Ah! I dropped my pencil. Okay. Scotty, you said the struggle is what helps us not feel alone when you struggle as well. That's awesome. Illustrating, you said drawing in front of people seems like a nightmare. I should clarify and say being watched is my nightmare. I love watching other people draw. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jessica Brumbry said, how do you convert your artwork to vectors? Generally, if I need something to be in vector, I will just draw directly in vector in Fresco. If I need something to be vector, that isn't already a vector. I'll try using like the image trace in Illustrator, or I'll just redraw it. It's very rare that I'm trying to think of a situation, like it's not that often that something actually needs to be vector. If someone's asking for vector, oftentimes they don't really need vector. They're just like doing it so they have no concerns and can do whatever they want. But as long as a file is high enough resolution, it should be fine. The only time you really need vector is if it's like for a branding project where it's like a logo that's going to be reused in all different kinds of sizes. But if that's not the case, there's very rare situations where something really needs to be vector. It's also not always the best to give vector artwork to a client for something other than a branding project, because it's so easy for them to do whatever they want with it, disassemble it, reuse it in any number of ways. But yeah, there's specific situations where you might need something vector. Like I'm thinking about my, I have like a laser cutter thing that I use to make screens for screen printing, and that thing requires vector artwork. So in that situation, I generally will draw directly in vector if I know I'm going to use that, or use some sort of image trace thing. So hopefully that's helpful. Scotty, you said, how do you typically submit your work to clients? File format wise, PDF, Illustrator. So it really varies on the project, but in like the sketch and comp stage, I'm just sending a relatively low resolution JPEG or PNG or whatever, just to get it signed off on. But when I'm delivering final files, it really depends on what the final product is going to be. It's, as I was saying, it's very rare that I send an Illustrator file, mostly because I'm not usually working in vector, and usually, like if, for example, if it's an illustration for like an editorial illustration for a magazine or something like that, like they just need a flattened print file. That's the high enough resolution. So, sometimes it could just be like a JPEG. It doesn't need to be anything special. If it's something that's like I'm working with an agency and they're doing some sort of like advertising campaign and they're going to be like animating elements, it's usually like a layered PSD. But there's so many variations. It really depends on what the final use case is for that artwork. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Thank you all for tuning in. New video on Tuesday as always. Make sure you check out the link below to my Patreon so you can be down with the Piascikness, or be a official Piasciko, or join the Piasticker and Party Club, or you could be the Piascikist. You could do any of these things. Link below. Check it out. YouTube memberships are going to be dialed down to just the single low tier one, and all of the more special stuff, like the one-on-one things or like the monthly hangouts, all that stuff, all kinds of behind the scenes stuff. There's already tons of posts on my Patreon with some sneak peeks at some work that I'm doing. And there's lots of really old stuff on there from when I had a Patreon like years and years ago before my YouTube channel. So you can find some old stuff on there too. This has been fun. I will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good talk.